So diving in recently, you covered the Fresh and Fit fiasco, and this was
Hmm.
the in-person event which happened in Miami with Wes Watson. It's gone viral all over the place. Interestingly enough, I think, and I wanted to kind of give you a take here and see what you thought about this because you covered it, and I thought you gave really good coverage on your channel, very level-headed. I think that what happened there is the people, like there was something for everybody. So for the people who really loathe like red pill content creators in the manosphere, you can use Wes Watson as basically the perfect caricature of
Hmm.
everything about that sphere that people hate, right? Totally empty and vacant of anything that is, worth something that's non-material. All that matters is muscles and roids and appearances, this type of thing. So I think the haters can make the perfect caricature, and then I think the red pillars themselves who watch it, they look at it and say, this is exactly what we don't want out there representing our message. And the manosphere
Hmm.
people are saying the same thing. And then over on the kind of Christian side, or the people, the men who embrace some form of spiritualism, which I think is probably the best path, see it as, a rejection of materialism kind of triggering the materialist worldview. So I think that there was something there for everyone. I think that that was kind of the perfect storm for all these different kind of internet groups to all then get together and have a take.
Yeah, I agree. Someone said in my comments, I think you're right about the caricature. Someone said that he's watched too many Sigma edits, and it's kind of true. He kind of personified what people stereotype that red pill type of guy to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of the time it's the younger guys that get confused with this. They think that being a high value man is all about being like ripped and having a six pack, having a fast car, fighting everybody that gets in your way. And that's just not the way it is, in my opinion. I don't think that's what a high value man is at
Well,
all.
well, doesn't it have to
Um,
start with emotional control?
100%.
Like, doesn't it
You'd
have
think
to?
you'd have a bit of emotional control to get physically in shape and to, be financially stable. But I guess it was the injections that got them there quicker,
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I mean, the thing is, that's funny about it is, yeah, you would think that there would be a lot of discipline, which would be required to get the body shape like that. But the steroids also do provide a shortcut, right? They do provide a
Mhm.
shortcut, and also they make you mentally unstable if you take them long term like that.
Well, no one ever talks about the side effects.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
What
not
are
all bad for certain men at certain ages, but it can make you more aggressive, more emotional. It can give you boobs. He was talking about boobs the whole time, but
yeah,
he might get boobs in 10 years. If he forgets his injections when
yeah,
he catches a flight, he'll get boobs and little balls as well. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. Well, don't those guys deflate once they stop taking the steroids? They deflate to
yeah.
about like half the size, and they age
Yeah, yeah,
5 years
yeah.
overnight, and they don't look great after
No,
the
it goes
injections stop.
from one extreme to the other a lot of the time.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's
but I
just
think
wild.
I think yeah, I think you did really good just to keep you calm, and you ended up basically playing him in his own game.
Yeah.
He was trying to mock you and roast you in front of that whole audience, and you ended up doing it to him.
Well, the
So,
the thing is I've said this, probably because I've been in so many debates over the last few years, against everyone from top tier to just kind of randos. But once somebody loses their emotional control, you own them. They
100%.
are now your property. You can do with
Yeah,
them whatever you want because,
yeah.
once you have found the triggerable button, all you have to do is push it, and there's essentially no defense against that. And I think that that's a huge weakness. So if I were to look at everything you can do for self improvement as a man, and I get it, right? I got a beer gut. I drink too much. You know what I mean? I smoke too much. I get that. I can do to work a bit on my health. But I also think that you should start with the idea of being at least somewhat in control of your emotions. And what's interesting
100%.
about that is you can be somebody who allows emotion to come out and still be in control of it. Like there's a time, for
Mhm.
instance, rhetorically, where kind of self-righteous indignation sounds really good, but it's controlled, right? You know what the message is that you're giving. You're not actually losing emotional control. So the opposition doesn't end up owning you. And if, have you found in your
Yeah,
life that that's important?
100%. When I was younger, I think the way I grew up, the way confrontation was dealt with was by getting physical or by trying to insult somebody. And you soon start, I think if you've got a brain, you soon start to realize that's not going to get you very far.
No.
Especially as a man, there's consequences to these things. Like if you're going to just get violent or start insulting people in all these types of situations, and you're probably going to go to jail. So or you're going to get in
Which is
serious
exactly where he
problems.
went, right? That's exactly where he
Well,
went.
exactly. Yeah, that's where he was there for 10 years or something, wasn't he? So there you go.
I think when you get older, you realize that truly revenge is a dish best served cold. And you getting hot or something like this most often plays into the hand of whoever the opposition is. They end up
Mhm.
controlling you. They take headspace up. They make you think about them, things like this. And ultimately, that's a lot of men's downfall. A lot of men's downfall is becoming obsessed with conquering other men who aren't even thinking about them. They don't even
Yeah.
care about their existence. So no matter how rich you get, no matter how much wealth you have, reminds me of the old movie, The Count of Monte Cristo. Did you ever see that movie?
No, I've never seen that. No.
Well, inside the movie, a peasant is imprisoned by a nobleman who was his best friend because he was always jealous that the peasant was happy with having nothing. And no matter how much the noble got, he never could fill whatever the void was, and he was always upset that the peasant had nothing and was happy. And
And I think,
yeah,
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 yeah, I think that annoyed him that day because the first question he asked you was, are you rich? Do you have money?
yeah.
Right? Are you broke? Are you broke? And you said, yeah, I'm broke. I don't have anything. You just showed you didn't care about money. Your value doesn't come from money. And when he's probably thought to himself that I'm gonna stop being a loser as soon as I get rich, as soon as I get a fast car, as soon as I have all these things. When someone just shuts you down and someone's even more self-assured than you are, when they don't have all the money and all the crap that you have, that can really fuck with your head. And I think that's what happened with him. It really fucked with him that you were just so confident about yourself and what your values were. And he'd just spend all this time trying to be rich and trying to be this big boss. And he realized in that moment, I think, that that's not what it's all about. That's not what being a high value man or a boss is about.
What are the steps when, so this term gets thrown around a lot, as you know, and I think there's different interpretations of it. It's one of those things I think that's better felt than telt, right? Which is, what is a high value man? What does that mean ultimately?
I mean, I think a high value man is somebody that can take accountability, look after his family, not expect anything in return. So there's high value men that don't earn 2 million a year, but they still look after their families. They still don't expect anything in return, and they'll take a bullet for their families. I think that's what a real high value man is. I don't think money and materialism is what it's all about at all.
As an end in of itself, the pursuit of materialism always seems to lead people to bad ends. I don't think there's anything wrong with being rich. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a lot of wealth. I just think that using it as an end itself, that's the end of what it is that you're after, is pretty empty and vacant. If it's being used as a means for a greater end, like the taking care of the family, like the taking care of the
Mhm.
people around you, like the taking care of your community, I think it can be a noble pursuit. But being an end in and of itself, you will be happy with the Bugatti, you will be happy with the muscles, you will be happy with the perfect body. That's all vacant lies, isn't it?
Of course, it's like I said in that video. I think if you're lucky enough to get old, and you're sat there and you don't have your body, but you have all these materialistic things around you, I don't think that's going to be the thing that makes you happy. I think seeing your grandchildren running around, your kids still there for you, I think that's what's going to make you happy.
What about the
So,
fact that your bloodline lives on? That cross
yeah,
generationally, you know that you have clones of yourself. You have genetically lived on through the generations, and even if you're forgotten, your blood still exists. Isn't that really the highest value you could ever offer planet Earth?
I agree. I
Yeah.
think so. I think that's what we're meant to do. And I
Yeah.
think if we can do that with somebody that has the same values as us to help us bring the best children into the world possible to make the world a little bit of a better place, then I think that's the best thing.
This comment, I screenshotted it from your channel. It was one of the best ones that I saw when I was scrolling through the comment section. This guy, his name is Killer Sushi. Killer Sushi. And he says, "This guy has me fired up. My father was a tradesman. The day he retired, he was making about $36,000 a year. He was married 56 years. He owned a home and a little beach house, 2 cars, and raised 3 children. Not a single day in my life did I ever think I was poor. My wealth was knowing every day my dad would be there. I had loving parents that gave me what I needed. Maybe not everything I dreamed of, but we got by fine. My dad drove an old Ford pickup truck and built race cars for fun. He didn't go to some dealership and spend millions of dollars to have a vehicle. I loved that old pickup truck. We went everywhere in that truck. The time in that truck with him was my wealth. To me, priceless. Everyone loved my dad not because of his net worth, but because everywhere he went, the world got a little bit better." I think that that's maybe the best definition or the best explanation of what a high value man is. Is that,
I
yeah,
think it is, yeah.
I think it
I read
is.
the comment and I like that comment. You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. I think when you're growing up as a kid, especially, you don't really care about how much money your parents have, do you? You care more about their presence, their values, how other people look at them, and how they treat others. Um, so having a Ferrari and all these things, yeah, it's cool. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, just like you said, but it's not the be all and end all, and it doesn't make you high value, in my opinion.
Well, as pointed out, there was another channel who did a review of this, and a clip of it was sent over to me, and the guy made a really good point. He said, it's funny. Think about a 7-year-old girl, your daughter, in your home. How much money would she spend to make the monster in the closet go away? And only dad can make the monster in the closet go away. Would she rather have $1,000,000 or does she want the monster in the closet to go away? And I would say that that's a really good analogy. It's
Hmm.
it's demonstrating what the value of a father is to a daughter, which is that the world is full of monsters, whether they're real or just perceived. And just having a masculine male around in a young girl's life is enough in and of itself to make most of the monsters disappear. How do you put a value on that?
Yeah, I think that's actually the main role of a man is to basically is for your family to look at you like the safety zone, the protector, the provider. So when your daughter, your wife is scared or having a problem, they look at you like, oh, everything's going to be all right. This guy's going to look after me. I think that's what a real man is and what a real high value man is.
Isn't it interesting too that particular relationship between fathers and daughters that seemingly when they have fucked everything up possible, when dad shows up, they just kind of melt, right? Up, everything's
Yeah.
going to be okay. Dad's
Yeah.
here, everything's going to get taken care of now. I can breathe out a sigh of relief, right? And isn't
Yeah.
isn't that the kind of man ultimately I think that men should strive to be?